Hey, and welcome to our master bedroom. Let me give you a tour. Nobody wants to see it like this. Hold on one moment. I'll be right back. That is so much better. Come on in. Well, hello, friend. I'm Mary Beth with At What Cost, where we are learning to apply God's truths to our everyday lives. And the best way that our family has discovered to do that is by adapting to a more minimalistic lifestyle. It simply has freed up space for me to devote more time to Bible study and really have that good quality time with my family that I just did not get before simplified living. So to get us started today, I want to talk about a few quick things that you can do to just get the ball rolling in a space that feels very overwhelming. And of course, there are no real I'm just going to put this out there. There's no real easy way to do all of this. None of the things in your house are just going to get up and walk out the door without some effort on your part. And that has become more and more apparent to me as we have kind of taken a break from maintenance and just let things be in our house over the last, I would say, month and a half. Between the holidays and having some illness, I really did not fully understand how well the systems that we had developed in our home and how well the decluttering that we had also done over the last year, how well that really did function and keep me feeling very productive, very calm, very ready to face the world, and how quickly it would fall apart when I did nearly nothing. So the first thing that I want to tackle in any space that feels a little overwhelming, but especially here in our bedroom, is trash. I want to clear out any of the trash, just things that I know we don't need. Socks with holes in them, cough drop wrappers, just any of the weird random trash that has found its way into this bedroom. Because let's be honest, when it comes to typically the master bedroom or maybe a spare bedroom, this is where all of the stuff gets stowed away. Like when the closets are full and you can't stuff anything else in there, it goes to the next logical place that no one is going to see. And I have even heard from some professional cleaners that the master bathroom tends to be in the roughest condition when they go in to do a whole house cleaning. And it makes sense. People just don't come in here that often, which means all of the stuff that I don't know what to do with, or I need to get out of the way quickly, I don't have time to deal with, can just get stowed away in this bedroom, which is sort of exactly what has happened in our bedroom. So as I'm looking around the room, I know I have some things from our kids' Kiwi crates that just sort of trickled their way in here. I have clothes that our son just outgrew that I really just need to bag up and take over to our friend's house who usually gets his hand-me-downs. I also have some books laying around, some laundry that needs to be folded and put away, just that random stuff that over time accumulates. Then I need to start making some decisions about the other things that are in this room. For example, I have an entire bin of DVDs. They were in our entertainment center when we lived in our old house. When we moved into our new house, the one that we currently live in, we didn't use that entertainment center anymore in our living room, which meant all of the DVDs that were stored in that entertainment center now do not have a home. And they are quite a difficult issue to handle. One, because we have lived in this house, it will be 4 years in June, and I have not taken one DVD out of that bin. But I'm not the only person who lives in this house and has an attachment to the DVDs, and I have been asked not to get rid of any of those DVDs. So I need to find another storage solution, which I don't necessarily put a lot of value into because I don't really want to keep them. But I have to do things that I don't want to do sometimes just to be able to keep moving forward and making progress. I also have a bin here of deferred decisions. So I have all these picture frames and I want to do a gallery wall, which I struggle with just a little bit because I like things to be visually just very simple, but I also want to display some of our family pictures, especially the older ones of great grandparents, aunts and uncles, my mom when she was a little girl, things that are just pretty special to us. I want to be able to frame those in kind of a family gallery wall. So I've been hanging onto these frames. I also have the pictures. I haven't made the prints and I haven't hung anything up. So I really need to take a look at these frames and decide whether or not they are actually worth keeping and if they are even going to work in doing this gallery wall. Should I go ahead and get the prints done? Okay, so I want to talk about these DVDs again because, as I mentioned in the intro, we are all about applying God's word to our everyday lives. And so finding those opportunities where we can really incorporate our faith into our daily action is really what application is all about, right? Being changed by the word of God. But what do these DVDs have to do with God's word? What does it have to do with the Bible? We have been working through 1 Peter in our Sunday school class, and so naturally we talked about submission, which is such a hard topic to talk about, and we're not going to get into all the nitty-gritties of it here, but from a biblical perspective, it's not a bad thing. And I love to have discussions on this topic, especially when it gets to the point in 1 Peter where it talks about having a gentle and quiet spirit. And unfortunately, I think people take this kind of the wrong way sometimes. So how does this apply to DVDs? Well, this idea of having a gentle and quiet spirit is really more so the idea that we don't enter into discussion just to be quarrelsome. Now, I talked in a recent video that getting rid of things is not a natural inclination for my husband. It just isn't. It kind of goes against the grain for him. That's not to say that he's a hoarder that keeps everything and he can't part with anything. That's certainly not the case. My natural inclination is to just take this bin, the entire thing, and take it to a resale shop and just dump it off and say, do what you will with it. His natural inclination is not. So how can I enter into this discussion with a gentle and quiet spirit while not being a doormat? Because that is not what's called for here. We're not called to just be a doormat and be walked all over. That's not the case. But again, it's this idea of not entering into the discussion with the intention of being quarrelsome. I'm entering into the discussion about these DVDs with the intention of finding a solution that works for both of us. So the issue for me is that I have a bin of stuff here in our bedroom because it has nowhere else to go. So this is just the natural dumping off point that we talked about earlier. I have nowhere else for it to go, but I also don't really want for it to be in here, and I really don't want for it to be a permanent fixture, especially because clutter attracts clutter. So a bin here just hanging out in our sitting room is going to attract another bin, because if it's okay to put something down, it's okay to put everything down, which means it's not that noticeable anymore. But as I start to put the laundry away and I get these extra clothes that our son has outgrown that I need to hand down to our youngest son, when I get those put away, this bin is just going to be sitting here seemingly out of place. So how can I resolve this issue without being quarrelsome? I can do this in a couple of ways. I can ask him if he has a better solution to store them, but not in a snarky, sarcastic, like, well, what are you going to do about it kind of way. That's not entering in with this gentle and quiet spirit. We are not going to get resolution that way. This is really coming from a heartfelt, genuine, authentic place. Is there another place that these could be stored? Is there another way that these could be stored? In fact, the solution that we have come up with is to take the DVDs out of the cases and put them into one of those like soft-sided organizers, which we actually have. We have CDs in there, but those are my CDs. I don't want them anymore. I can totally part with all of those mixtapes from college, which, I may run through a few of them in the car when I'm by myself, but ultimately, I can part with those things. Taking that big bin of DVDs and condensing it down into a more manageable size really can help resolve this issue. And I feel good about it. So does he. We have totally resolved this issue without quarreling about it. Now, that's just one example. I know that there are thousands of examples that you probably can give in your home of things that the other members of your family just don't want to part with. But it does take time and it does take compromise. And sometimes we have to be willing to extend the courtesy, extend the compromise, and move on to another area. And eventually, when our home is getting a lot more under control, we have built that trust back up that we're not just going to do this once and be done with it, but we are in fact going to stick with this solution and really reap the benefits. The members of our family are far more likely to come alongside us and start to get rid of things. And I can tell you firsthand experience here from someone who does not like to get rid of things, who's married to someone else who likes to get rid of things even less. It's possible. It just takes time. So I have one last issue that I really need to tackle in this room, and that is my clothes, which we will do another video solely on clothes and decluttering wardrobes. All of that good stuff is coming up in the month of March and even into April. So be sure to subscribe if you haven't so that you get notified of those videos, and you get notified by clicking on that little bell. Fun fact about subscribing, it costs $0 to subscribe to this channel, and you get all the benefits like hanging out with me every Friday and every Sunday, and some pretty decent tips. Like, I got some okay ideas. I don't mind sharing them. So that was minus my own clothes that I went ahead and hung up and put away. That was just random clothes that have been left here over the last 2 weeks that didn't get folded, or just, strays that don't find their way home. Those were the kids' clothes, and then I have folded the 2 beach towels that we use each week because 2 of our kids have swimming lessons, and then some random sheets. I've got my cleaning kind of cloths, my dish towels, and then you may be asking yourself, but Mary Beth, why didn't you fold your towels? Well, that's because these are my kids' towels and they have one apiece. When I am filming this, it is Tuesday, and Tuesday is towel day. So I just take the towels right off their hooks, throw them in the wash, and then when they get done and I get them out in the afternoon, they just go right back up on the hooks. So I just happened to catch them today with a bunch of other stuff that I knew needed to be folded. So here they are, and I am about to go hang them up. So I mentioned in the Clutter-Free January series when we talked about kids' clothes that I have one bin that I store all of our upcoming sizes in, and it really is just for our youngest child. And so as I've been going through these smaller little piles in here, I have found a few things that need to be added to the bin, which is, fine because the bin is still in here. Even from a few weeks ago, because, well, real life, friends, real life. So I'm going to add those things in there. And then I also have things like this t-shirt that is from our son. He participated in the Special Olympics with his school. And so that needs to go in a memory bin or not a memory bin, his memory bin. And then I also have their Western Michigan University sweatshirts that also need to go downstairs in their memory bins. Well, everybody is home from school now, and so we are going to have to wrap this up after bedtime, which means it's going to be just a tad bit darker in here this evening, but we are going to get it done. This is officially the last bin that I am going to do tonight. I did not get to the bookshelf, but that's okay. We have plenty of time. It's not actually that bad. It just needs to be rearranged. But I am going to go through this bin of frames because I just got to get it out. And I did not get to the movies tonight, but that's okay too because I have not taken the CDs out of that case, and so I may go and sit downstairs and do that and just kind of flip through those while I'm watching some TV or something. So one more bin and then we get to see the final reveal. See, this is the problem when you put things into a bin and then you don't finish and you have to clean up quick because somebody's coming over, and then you open it up and you find in this bin of frames, I have a bag of, I don't know, only time will tell because I have no idea what it is. I know it's not frames. Oh, it's clothes. Oh, it's fives. So it's our youngest son's clothes from 2 sizes ago now. Great. The good news is I don't even really know what's in here. I am going to go through it just in case because you never know what actually is in here. But I know that I don't need any of this stuff. So little. These were our first family pictures that we ever had done. We hadn't even finalized our adoption yet, but we just knew, like, this was it. That would be Brian in college. That was our first date in Michigan, when Brian came up to Michigan to see me. Oh, it's so dusty. He also took that picture then too. That was at Lake Michigan, and it was 4 degrees. So this I will keep. I am going to take the pictures out of these and donate the frames. Another side note, I donate my bins. So this bin of frames, I do not need this storage bin for anything else. There's nothing else in this house that I need to store. Everything else pretty much already has a place. And if I have that much stuff hanging around that I need to store that, well, I probably need to think again about whether or not I actually need to keep it. But now, keep this in mind. I am a lot further down the road than someone who may just be starting out. That was not the case initially when I had to do things like sort Christmas decorations or kind of just quarantine toys. I had a lot of bins the last time I did this bedroom that were really just filled with toys that were being quarantined to see if we actually needed them. We didn't, and so they left along with the bins, because otherwise I'm just gonna stick more stuff in here and I don't need it. So the bin is gonna go, the picture frames are gonna go. I am just gonna kind of like tidy up a few little things here, like take some trash out and take the donation stuff out to my car, because otherwise I will not actually do it. It will just sit in here in the corner like it has for the last 3 years. Facts, friends. Those are facts. So yeah, I'm gonna get that stuff cleaned up and then I will meet you back here for the big reveal. Well, that pretty well wraps it up for today. Thanks for decluttering my bedroom with me. So every Friday you can find me here with a family minimalism video, and every Sunday with a Bible study tip to really deepen our faith. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button because we have a lot more content coming up in 2021. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm going to enjoy the fruits of my labor, grab a cup of coffee, even though it is nighttime, because honestly, like, I'm so tired most of the time, I could probably drink a gallon of coffee and it wouldn't matter. So I am going to kick back, watch a little bit of TV, relax, and enjoy the fruits of my labor.